Hello YouTube, welcome to a new Synth News episode, the format that sums up all hardware and software news from last week. I hope you had a wonderful weekend, even only cozy at home with your family and your synths. The last week was definitely a Korg week with exciting products, but not only Korg showed new things, but also many other companies. So quickly to the news of the week. On Monday, Korg presented the Nautilus, a new synthesizer workstation also known as Kronos Lite. The core is the core Kronos, but with a few important differences. Nautilus has all the same engines of the Kronos, so the MS-20 and Poly 6 emulations, the piano, E-piano, the physical modeling engine, the FM, the sampler and more. Plus you have a 16-track MIDI and audio recorder, which has many aspects of a DAW. Unlike the Kronos, the Nautilus used a touch-focused interface with fewer knobs. The biggest negative point, in my opinion, is the keyboard that has no aftertouch. For a workstation that costs more than €2,000, a no-go in my opinion. The price policy is also a bit strange, because the Nautilus in the 88 version currently only costs €200 less than the Kronos in the 88 version. Nautilus looks interesting, but there are a few things that are not perfect. This aftertouch policy also applies to the next product. 2 days later on Wednesday, Korg also showed the OPSIX FM synthesizer. This was already in a showcase as a concept at this year's NAMM show. The final result looks quite different than the concept. Korg used the same plastic housing as the Waystate, but used a different synth engine. It is probably based again on a Raspberry Pi computer module, like the Waystate. I don't have problems with this, because the developers demonstrate nicely what is possible today with these affordable computer boards. But now back to the synth topic. OPSIX is a 6-operator FM synthesizer that follows the concept of the legendary DX7. However, it's not a clone or replica. They have extracted the FM synthesis core of the DX7 and greatly expanded and merged it with a new hands-on interface, color-coded operator mixer, customizable user algorithms, 23 different operator waveforms, 5 selectable modulation types for each operator, so FM, RM, filter, filter FM and waveshaper, analog style filters, to name only a few highlights. All this is playable with a built-in 37 keys keyboard, or with a sophisticated 6-step poly sequencer with 6 motion sequences. I had the opportunity to play with the OPSIX 2 days before the release. It is a nice sounding synthesizer that brings FM synthesis forward and makes it much more accessible. The keyboard, however, is not so nice. It's a bit spongy and has no aftertouch, unfortunately. The test continued this week. I can tell you more about the OPSIX later. Modor from Belgium is back with a new product. The DR-2 is an all-digital drum machine with 6 instruments, all based on drum synthesis. No samples, just synthesis. It's a good move because there are only a few drum synths on the market. The DR-2 offers a lot. Each channel can host one of 15 different drum models or synth algorithms that are specially designed for specific drum and percussive sounds. And the developer promised more models as a firmware update. With 12 synthesis parameters per drum module, you can create your own drum sounds very easily. So the DR-2 is not only a classic drum machine, but also a powerful tool for your own drum and percussion sounds. You can trigger this manually or with a 128-step drum sequencer, controllable via 16-step buttons. It also includes many creative and well-thought-out features with which you can do more than with a classic drum machine. It uses 32-second notes that extends the range of the sequencer. Each instrument has its own accent, flame, toplet, break and reverse pattern, and swinger of course. That's not all. There are also several options to bring variations in the sound, like alpha-beta versions of your sound, or randomizer that randomize a parameter at note start. On the connection side, you have 6 individual outputs, 2 master outputs, and very exciting, each of the individual channels output is also an insert, so you can route a sound in an effect processor and back in the device. That's super powerful. Further, you have a MIDI in, out and through connector, and more on the back. At first look, the Modor DR-2 is an eye-catcher and a powerful drum machine in my opinion. I'm always much more excited if a drum machine uses synthesis than samples. It's way more interesting and innovative. I look forward to hear more sound demos of it. A very interesting machine. My good friend in the music tech world, an iPad musician, Jacob Hack, had released his first synthesizer for iOS. Agonizer is a new bass synthesizer that is powered by two wavetable oscillators. Thanks to many shaping options, the synth sounds very characterful, big and angry. With the Vobulator, yes, that's the correct name, you can bring very extravagant modulations to your bass sounds, from classic whoop whoop dubstep movements to crazy motions. A lot is here possible. Agonizer is of course AUDIOKIT version 3 compatible, but I didn't expect anything else. It's a great sounding iOS synthesizer with a lot of sound options. I'm very happy to see that Jacob now also has its own app in the App Store. Congratulations, you deserve it. OBLIVION Sound Lab has released last week Hexdrum, a new drum synthesizer plugin for PC and Mac. Yes, another drum synthesis product, this time for your computer. Hexdrum is inspired by synth drum machines of the 1980s, especially by the Siemens SDS. It has 7 drum voices, each features a synthesis block that creates a specific drum or percussive sound. You have kick, snare, tom low, tom middle and tom high, and a closed and open hi-hat. Each voice has different features, so it's always divided in tone, noise, click, LFO and output block, with which you can craft your own drum timbres. In terms of sound, the plugin can really convince. Sounds a lot like the Siemens, but also behind that. If you are bored by drum sample libraries, you can get a lot of drum power for little money for just $29. Also, there are news from KODAMO from France. Already in September, I reported about a new synthesizer that will come out next year. This will be not a keyboard version of the ESSENCEFM, but a completely new product, an alternative to the FM Beast. For Sound Meet 2020, the developer shared more details about the new synth, including a new render of the design. It's called VFM and will be available in a 37 and 61 keys version. According to the developer, it will be a compact synth with a full metal enclosure and FATA keypad. KODAMO doesn't tell us anything about the sound engine, but I think it will have a quite similar FM engine as the ESSENCEFM. They plan to show a working prototype in mid-2021, so probably at Superbooth 21. At the same time, KODAMO announced the ESSENCEFM MK2 that offers removable rack ears, but no other features, so it's a very tiny update. And it's now available for pre-order for a very special price of €1,079. So it's a discount of €300. So one thing is sure, FM synths are back. Spectrasonics caused a surprise last week with the new Trilian 1.5 Total Bass Module plugin update. I was waiting for a paid update 2.0, but now we got a free one. Nice. It adds an upgraded arpeggiator section, expanded synthesis features, an Omnisphere 2-like interface makeover, and over 200 new patches. The biggest update received the synth engine that now comes with 11 new filters, better FM, polyphonic wave shapers, or also the option to modulate the effect. All in all, a nice pre-Christmas gift from Spectrasonics that brings the plugin back to the focus. No synth episode without bearing news. The company was also active last week. They published a photo of a possible new drum trigger URAC sequencer based on the RD9 drum machine. So basically they plan to transform the sequencer section of the RD9 in a module named IS9. How do you like the idea? Should Behringer produce this module? Let me know in the comments below. I think if it's well made and feature rich, why not? A drum sequencer for $149 could be a no-brainer for the URAC world. Let's stay with the 909 a little longer. AUDIOKIT, the well-known iOS manufacturer, has released the AR909, a new TR909 inspired drum machine for iOS that completely relies on synthesis and doesn't use samples. Each of the 11 instruments has its own synthesis block. So for example, the bass drum includes tune, decay, impulse and heat controls, so a lot of options to shape your sound, and you can trigger these sounds either manually with the pads or with the built-in sequencer. Vintage style shuffle and swing brings additional flexibility and character to the app. Of course, it has AUDIOKIT version 3 support. This new app only costs $299 and is a great 909 inspired drum machine which you should try out for your iOS device. The British music tech company Roli became famous for its MP technology and the keyboard controllers, less for their software synthesizer Equator. There wasn't much to say about it in the past few years. It was a bit sidelined, but now Equator 2 is here with a completely new version and engine. Equator 2 hosts a wide range of different synthesis types that transform it in a true synthesis workstation. Wavetable, multi-sampler, granular, FM and more. This engine can be assigned to 6 slots with which you can build unique sounds. The code of Equator 2 comes from the well-known FXpansion developer Agnes Howlett, who has imported some features from the Cypher 2, Strobe 2 and other synthesizers. For example, the modulation system relies on these FXpansion synths. It includes different LFOs, envelopes, macros and many more. Of course, the well-known MP technology is the central idea of this synth plugin. This means you can modulate sounds in 3 dimensions. Equator could score with this in the past. Today it's more difficult, because a lot of plugins have these capabilities. Nonetheless, the plugin looks impressive, and with over 1,300 professionally designed MP ready and standard sounds, you can jump straight into the Equator 2 adventure. Nice to see it back, and hope we can see soon also some new innovative controllers from Roli. Last but not least, Ableton announced last week Live 11 and Steinberg released Cubase 11. The number 11 seems to be the magic number for DAW releases this year. Since I'm not familiar with Cubase, I will briefly tell you about Live 11. The biggest new feature of the new version is MP support that opens up new expressive ways in Live. Another new big feature is the comping that allows you to take the best parts of your takes or live jams and put them together in a final result. This function fits perfectly to Ableton Live because this DAW is made for live performances and experimenting with audio loops, snippets and so on. In addition, there are many new devices, including new instruments, synths and effects. Robert Henke, one of the founders of Ableton, has also developed a new device called Pitch Loop 89 that creates jittery glitch effects, delayed digital shimmers and more. Also new in the sequencer section is a note chance function that allows you to set the probability that a note or drum hit will occur. This also includes a new velocity chance function. So these are great improvements in my opinion. So these new additions for the sequencer brings a lot of new freedom. Further, it brings even more additions, improvements and much more. All in all, a nice upcoming update for Live. Personally, I expected MP support as a free update, but with this amount of new features, I'm fine with the paid upgrade. Are you going to upgrade or not? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to check out the plugin.deals Black Friday deals list with many big discounts to discover. Plus the list will be updated on a daily basis, so you will not miss any deals. For more plugin deals and free downloads, check plugin.deals, the sister website of Synth Anatomy. I hope you enjoyed this new episode of Synth News. Let me know in the comments below your favorite news of the last week. It would be cool to discuss with you. Big thanks for watching and for continued support. Big thanks, and I hope to see you again in one of the next Synth Anatomy videos. Bye!